We know that Daredevil Born Again has been in the works for quite some time from Marvel, and considering the things that we heard about it initially, didn't sound very good. In fact, it sounded so bad that Marvel tore up the entire thing, ripped it to shreds, threw it out, brought in new cast, brought in new crew, and decided to remake it almost from scratch. Well, we got our first glimpse of what this series is going to look like, set to be released in just a few months, with a trailer that came out the other day. And quite frankly, most people thought the trailer looked pretty good. It looked pretty good for what it was, but certainly no one is sitting there willing to believe that the MCU is going to do just as good of a job with Daredevil as we saw from the Netflix series. But now discussions like this leave a little bit more doubt in people's minds and have people a lot more worried about the potential future for this series. This tweet got a lot of attention the other day, and I think it was earlier today, actually. Yes, earlier today. Daredevil Born Again showrunner Dario Scardapane, I don't know how to pronounce it, says the show has a lot less navel-gazing than before. The earlier show, at its best, was fantastic. At its worst, it was two characters in a room talking about what a hero is. I felt that had been done. I'm not taking swipes. I just didn't want to hear characters grousing about their lot in life. Now, you can take that a few different ways, but for a lot of people, especially fans of the Daredevil Netflix series, one of the things that made it such a great series was not just that it's, oh, look at this constant action, look at this constant fighting. It's everything that happens in between them. It's the character development. It's the discussions. It's the dichotomy of what you see your character doing in real life versus hero persona. It's, am I going too far with this? Did I make a mistake? All these things. And one of the things that Marvel has made terrible with virtually all of its properties over the last several years, it can't have two people in a room talking. Because when you have two people in a room talking, you don't have fancy fights or CGI to distract from all these things. You're heavily reliant on the writer's skill and the dialogue and the performances. That's what's been lacking from Marvel shows, from Marvel movies for the past several years. That's what we haven't had. And that's so desperately what people need to get back. The idea that, well, you can't just have two people talking. That would be awful. We're not going to do any of that. Well, you know what? If you have piss poor writers, I get why you wouldn't want to do that because it's shitty. However, you take a look at things like, whether it's something like Penguin, which some of the best moments in that entire series are two people sitting there talking. That is so important. Dialogue is so important. Characters are so important. And when you have a director that says something like this, at its worst, it was two characters in a room talking about what a hero is. That's very fucking concerning. I saw Mahler put out a tweet about this as well. Describing some of the best episodes of the series as navel-gazing is a next-level audience reassurance for the new series. Daredevil is built on his continued introspection, his actions being pulled between contrasting worlds. Punisher, being the darker hero with definitive conviction, was perfect as a foil. Who the fuck wouldn't want more scenes about their lot in life when that defines their actions? We want to know the why, the how, and the response to more challenges to their perspectives. Who wouldn't want to know more about why these men are heroes? And I think that's a very good point. Now, I do think later on in the article, he says, I'm not trying to drag it, and I love the Netflix show, and we can't wait to, be part of this and all these things. However, the idea, the very idea that this is an actual quote from the showrunner, this is a continuation of the Netflix series, and this is an actual quote from the showrunner saying this, this is something that is fucking retarded to say. And a lot of people that already have doubts about what the MCU is going to do with Daredevil, well, a lot of those doubts, they seemingly got a little more ammunition behind them after statements like this from the showrunner.